Soon. Are you having fun here at the Intel Extreme Masters? Good. We've got a lot more StarCraft 2 to cast here.
Oh, yes, we do, Tasteless.
Okay, so we talked about this earlier. I mean, that is a really crappy way to lose the first game in a best-of-5.
Yeah, that's going to throw ForGG off for sure.
Yeah.
But, you know, he is a pro that has won an OSL. He's a champion, and he knows how to deal with that in his own mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely a guy with a lot of experience. A lot more experience than VortiX, that's for sure. You know, that's why these Korean players, we generally consider them the best because, you know, in Korea you have the infrastructure to have esports events every single day. So eventually, you know, experience can be everything in moments like this. So he certainly could come back and win this. We're going to see. We got the game up, so looks like we're going to be ready to do this. It is the map Daybreak. Let's do this. Excuse me. In the bottom left starting location, we have our Zerg player making the comeback of the century. Give it up for VortiX. And in the in the upper right starting location, we have our Terran player from Korea, one of the best Terrans from StarCraft 1 in the world. Give it up for ForGG.
Okay, so, you know, VortiX, such an aggressive player, but at the same time, ForGG likes that style as well. He likes to get aggressive, get that cloak early on, and then go into super duper macro mode. He has to be careful at that moment. When he gets into his real macro mode, he needs to turtle so hard if he wants to beat VortiX. Otherwise, you know, VortiX can just do what he did last game. Some speed bane, some lings, some really smart run-ins, some nice Mutalisk attacks, and ForGG will fall apart. This is a much longer, bigger map for Terran versus Zerg. It's going to be much harder this time for ForGG.
This is, I think, the best StarCraft 2 map. I've been saying that a lot here, but it's the way I feel about it. I think it makes for some great games. And, you know, it's one-on-one, so there's always that dynamic component where you can do an all-in versus just having some macro, drawn-out games. Mm-hmm. Now, there's going to be a little bit of downtime here.
Yeah, nice to point out that VortiX really does like to drone scout. I guess this guy does not really like so much to be double proxy barracks or anything like that, to see any quick gas builds, so he just checks it out and maybe delays that just slightly for ForGG.
We see the command center being planted right over here, and the Marine pops out just in time to defend it from the drone harassing. The Overlord's going to come in over here, and probably, yeah, we park right up in this area. That way you can check, you know, see how many SCVs are mining. You could eventually sack the Overlord to go in here and do some scouting, and you probably ask yourself, well, why doesn't he just make tech over here then to hide it? Well, it's very easy to get an Overlord over here as well. So this is one of these maps where it's hard to hide information from the Zerg.
Mm-hmm. Definitely it is. You know, there's not really all that much to hide other than the possibility of cloak, though, because every single TVZ, if it doesn't open up with a Marine rush, you're going to see him go into Hellions. That's always going to happen. The Banshee is a pretty standard follow-up as well for the last month or so.
Okay, Tooling's out here. I would not be surprised if those are the only two Zerglings we see for a while from VortiX. He really likes to get his drones up. I don't really see a hole in VortiX's play, do you, so far?
Well, you know, he always does go in for a little bit of aggression. He doesn't really go for 6 queen builds. So I don't want to call those holes, but there are definitely things that you can take advantage of if you realize them. So we're going to have to see if ForGG actually does that. Does he look at it and say, oh, okay, so your creep spread isn't going to be as good as some other top Zergs. You know, you're going to get aggressive at some point. So what does he do against that? Well, he can know that it's going to be easier to push across the map quicker because there's no creep out there near his base. And also he's going to know that he needs more bunkers, more defensive positioning, maybe a quicker siege mode as well.
Now it looks like ForGG is going to go ahead and go for what looks to be to me to be the same build as we had in game number 1. I think he saw the success, and then I think he realizes the errors of what happened in that last game. He's saying, all right, well, that seemed to go fine. Yeah, that was actually my fault that he won that game. So
I got to agree with you there, Tasteless. I think that's exactly what he's doing here. And won't be surprised at all if we see him actually go out and maybe, you think he's going to try to actually kill the third again? That was kind of like a lucky scenario where the queens just kind of died off.
You look, if I was ForGG, I'd just like show up and see what happens.
Yeah.
You know, it's a tough call, I guess. This is one of these builds that's meant to just do as much damage as possible to the Zerg, and then you just go back to a standard game. Now he saw everything he needed to see here.
Yeah.
No surprises here.
Even saw cloak upgrading, but sometimes people do a fake cloak upgrade when the Overlord comes in and cancel afterwards.
That's very true.
So, you know, he's going to keep that in mind, but if he's paid attention to ForGG at all, ForGG seems to always go cloak.
All right, 2 extractors coming up over here. And let me do a little worker count here. 41 drones to 30 SCVs. All right, the Hellions are coming in here. Again, nice wall.
He's doing a very good job with his wall, getting both those Evos up so quickly that he really does want anyways, and just utilizing his 4 queen style.
He's trying to get these queens to come out so he can then run inside the main, kill drones. So far, he's just not budging.
And this is actually really nice. I love that he's doing this because with just a 4-queen build, especially when you have another base coming up, if you kill off a few extra creep tumors, then, I mean, it's going to make it even harder for them to do anything.
I want to point out here, he actually attacked his own Hellion here to kill that last creep tumor. Very nice play.
And he's going for the 3rd hatch again, Tasteless.
Now, I really wonder if he should have done this earlier because, you know, there was no units for the start of that game last time, and he's been attacking this a little bit later. Here come the queens now, and the Lings coming up as well.
They each have enough for a heal, and in fact, where is his detection? I don't see any spores, and, well, he's got to make an Overseer, and there it is. Okay.
All right. Really tense moment. Is this going to be deja vu?
It might
be. Is there a
be.
glitch in the Matrix? I don't understand. This saturate's is getting so low.
Don't forget, he does have 3 transfusions built up on those queens. And in fact, he will go ahead and use one of them. He's got to be careful, though, because if he overuses them, the Banshees can take out the queens. And in fact, he's going to target that queen down a little bit. Now the Banshee's going to go after the queens. Looks like these Zerglings actually surrounded all the Hellions, which is nice. But there are so many Hellions that actually ForGG may be able to kill a ton of Lings.
Oh, no. He's going to get the Hellions. Is this... Oh, my God, you're kidding me.
Wow. Wow. ForGG, 2 games in a row, killing a hatchery basically with Hellion Banshee.
Well, if history repeats itself, then ForGG is screwed now. So
I don't think that's going to be what happens, Tasteless.
I don't think so either. So we have more barracks coming up here. So now we're going to learn a lot. We're going to see if ForGG can patch up whatever errors are going on.
Well, he's actually changed his build a lot. If we take a look in the main base, Tasteless, of ForGG, you know, in those other games, he would just add 2 command centers during all this. Instead, this time, he's added a lot of production. And with this production, he's going to be able to perhaps punish VortiX for not having a good economy anymore, for losing that 3rd base. And in fact, he's getting exactly 1 engineering bay. That's very interesting. That tells us that he definitely wants to hit another attack timing.
All right. Very different response here from that last game.
Yeah.
ForGG is a very flexible player, and that means a lot because a lot of StarCraft 2 players are not.
Well, VortiX, I guess, in some ways is not, really. You know, he's an aggressive guy, but he didn't do anything to prevent that hatchery from dying this time. You know, if you go for, let's say, a 6-queen opening, yeah, it's going to be a little bit harder to be, you know, aggressive, but you need to have that defense against this build.
These Banshees are so expensive, and he is going to lose all of them.
Ouch.
That is too bad. Now the Hellions coming in here. Let's see what damage they can do. They need to get out of here pretty quickly.
And the Zerglings actually do end up killing them off. Only a couple get away. Pretty good victory there for VortiX.
Let's go.
Now can his mutas do anything?
Well, let's go back here and check. I think so, actually, Artosis. This base is pretty exposed, and turrets only just now coming up. Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. VortiX moving in now.
There is a good amount of Marines out, and they do have stim and combat shield, so that will help them out quite a bit. Here we go. They do stim and run in towards these mutas. Mutas now just deciding, oh, we can fight off these Marines, but he may have to turn around as more Marines and medevacs do come up.
He didn't lose any mutas back there.
Looks like he just lost one.
Oh, excuse me. And now we got the armory coming down.
All right, well, ForGG going to bring it into a bit longer game than maybe what he wanted. You know, his 3 Banshees didn't do the damage that he needed, and in fact, another one coming in right through a spore.
4. This is not good. All right, so that Banshee not going to do anything either.
Yeah.
Things not looking as good, again, for ForGG.
Yeah, losing 4 Banshees doing basically no damage is pretty rough, but he's going to move out across the map right now. Can he get some serious damage done to VortiX here? He's morphing a lot of Lings and Banelings. They do have those 1-1 upgrades as well, which are going to be really important against 0-0 Marines.
All right, I don't know if this is a good idea, Artosis. What do you think? I feel like he lost so much, he should probably just take a third. I feel like this seems a little bit desperate.
Yeah, well,
I think he's underestimating what is actually in here.
With Baneling speed and Mutastasis, I don't think it's a good idea either.
Uh-oh, stimming. The Lings are going to come in for a surround. All right, the Marines are a little bit spread out. Oh, no.
And he surrounds him. The Muta's still there, so, he actually moved the Mutas to the side.
He needs to stay under this. This would be huge if he actually gets his back. And
it looks like he will kill off that medevac, and most of the Marines inside at the cost of a Muta. And here we go, another attack at the front by VortiX. He's going to go ahead and see if he can get some serious damage on the Banelings going into the SCV line. Not a ton of SCVs out there, but he does definitely do a little bit of damage.
VortiX is a machine.
Yeah.
I think he's going to go in here for another attack. The ramp is, well, it's not fully blocked here, and this is going to be, dude, is he actually going to win this right now again, too?
Yes, Tasteless, yes he is. He's on top of the barracks, and when that happens, you are so screwed as a Terran.
Yeah, and these SCVs not going to be too helpful here. Yeah, I really wonder if ForGG metaphorically is scratching his head right now saying, what the hell?
Well, I think he probably is. I don't think he's ever heard of VortiX before other than playing him on the ladder. You know, he hasn't won any tournaments.
GG.
Whoa, VortiX going up 2-0.
Oh, my God.
That is pretty insane, man. I tell you what, ForGG switched his style a little bit, but he kept being aggressive instead of defensive. I just wanted to see him sit there and defend because VortiX is going to start attacking you at some point. If you give him a few extra units, he's going to barrel right through you.
You know, it's kind of funny because I feel like I'm not seeing what VortiX is doing to get this far ahead.
No, I think it's just these groups of units that ForGG is losing. Lose 4 Banshees, lose your clump of Hellions, lose a bunch of Marines that you're attacking across the map with. As soon as you lose all those, VortiX with his Baneling speed is rolling across the map.
Actually, I think your analysis is spot on there, Atosis. Why on earth was he moving out with those medevacs and Marines?
Once you've killed that third, you can kind of sit back, defend, and get ahead that way.
I'm digging this sick, lose my third hatch, then win the game strategy from VortiX.
It's a good one.
All right, we are, well, we're going to go ahead and throw it over there in a second when that replay is loaded. Obviously, it takes a little bit to get to that point in the replay where it's the, we showed kind of the tipping point of the game.
They are all set, so let's throw it over to day 9.
Take it away, guys.
Hey guys, welcome back here to the second desk, day 9. What have you got to show us?
Well, if we hop into game, we're going to see the standard Hellion Banshee that we saw, but I mean, Hellion Banshee is good because it buys so much time. But for every pair of Hellions you build, you're delaying everything else. So these are really late barracks. There's still no command center. There's no infrastructure. And ForGG forgets a ton of SCVs here. So in essence, killing off this hatch just equalizes him instead of getting him ahead. However, instead of killing just the hatch, he ends up losing all these Hellions without really doing much of anything. And you're noticing, while all this is going on, the Spire is still coming, the Baneling Nest still coming up, 1-1 finishing. The only thing that was really lost was Zerglings and a hatch. What was lost over at the Terran side? Huge amounts of infrastructure. ForGG was destined for doom after that point.
I feel that ForGG here needs to realize that this is a very predictable thing about what VortiX is doing. He always goes for that one wave of Mutalisks and goes into that Ling-infested Ultra Transition, unless he's able to kill you very quickly. But anyway, guys, also, don't forget to go over to Twitter, hashtag IEM Patriot, for a chance to be able to win one of these nice, dandy little 8 gig sets here. And we'll head it over back to Tastosis.